Gemini. Hello. We are going to pull your May reading. And for these readings this month, I'm using the Oracle deck, the Crow's Oracle deck. And we're going to suss out some clarifiers with the tarot. It's been an interesting, so far, I've just pulled Aries and Taurus, but it's been a fun, interesting, change. And Geminis aren't afraid of a challenge, are we? Nope. It is interesting. So I've been talking about this spring being a little less springy than it usually is. A little less exciting, titillating. You get me, Gemini. A little less titillating, a little less sexy, unfortunately. Just a little for us. And then a little more hardworking, a little bit more setting us up. Now, some people would say that May is the energy in which we reap the rewards of the setup. I disagree. If we're able to do that at all in May, I think it's a slow burn, and it comes, and we don't recognize it nearly as much. So like I was telling Taurus, you could just like get a raise and be like, oh, I got a raise, and move on with your life. Even though that's what you've been working for the last year, is to get 8-10% raise in this economy, and you get it and you're like, okay, good, moving on. So it's a little bit of that. Like, this setup has been such a dramatic challenge, and the spring has been such a hardworking spring that you don't, when you get those rewards and when you get to the peak of the mountain, you're like, okay, nice view, let me come down the mountain. So, Gemini, for us, I think it's been a little bit more of a working into ourselves. I don't know if you've noticed this, but the Gemini shorthand in communication has been so fucking strong. Like, your language skills have almost created your own language. Like, there is a Gemini language this month that some folks who aren't great at communication will go, what did you just say? You're like, oh, I'm sorry, don't you speak Gemini? So there's a little bit of that. So watch out for that. I think that's more in verbal communication, or oral communication, actually, that you speak with your mouth. I think you're good in emails. What I would recommend to all of you, though, Gemini or not, is if you're unsure about an email, go ahead and pop it into ChatGPT and run it just to make sure that the grammar is correct and that you're sending the right message. That's going to be my tip for today. You probably already are, but listen, we have Bond at the bottom. One of the most beautiful cards in this Oracle deck, and I love it so much. And that's your bottom card. Gemini, risk. Gemini, self-interest. Yeah. Have you been working? Have you been hustling? Have you been nonstop, caffeinated, roller coaster, absolute, continuously, boom, 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 boom? Well, I hope you're in a groove, because it continues in May. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think May is the energy in which you'll pop off with this setup that we've been going through in spring. I think it's a continuation of the same. I think it's the last drive. Now, we haven't been polling. Nobody's been polling, to my knowledge. I don't watch that many other channels, but nobody's been polling, to my knowledge, a lot of Eight of Wands, a lot of Nine of Wands. We're not getting close to the end of this. There's a lot of five energy. There's a lot of six energy. We just got to keep at it. We just got to keep at it. Keep the hustle, keep building our skill set, helping when we can. I think the priority of self-interest, the priority of chasing that broccoli every single day is where you should be, Gemini, because you have the skills right now. Okay, hold on. I don't want to get in my head of myself. I feel very good in your energy, Gemini. Maybe it's because I am, Sun Gemini, but this energy feels groovy. Like, I mean, I said get in a groove, but I mean, it feels fun. It feels fun. You're fun, Gemini. And I'm not just. No, there's something about it though that's like there's a potential for a lot of little shit to happen, and I mean shit in a good way. There's a potential for a lot of little things to happen, a lot of little manifestations. I'm getting breadcrumb energy. I'm getting going to grandma's house, but it's not a wolf in grandma's clothing. Following the breadcrumbs, getting to like breadcrumb following. And all these little breadcrumbs are little tiny manifestations. I think you're delighted in May. There's a little delight in May. All these little breadcrumbs that you're finding of these things that you really, really wanted. It's almost like, I don't even know if I want to say this, but there's a potential for you. I'm not saying all of you, but I'm saying some of you could have a very heightened manifestation situation. Like you might think to yourself, for example, you might think, oh, I'll just give you an example of what happened to me the other day. And I think this might be applicable to some of you. So the other day, doesn't matter the situation that I was in, but I don't even want to tell you this because I feel okay. So I'm not going to tell you the exact situation, but what I'm going to tell you is universe is like, no, don't share your secrets. I'm like, okay. So what I will say is if you pay attention, you might notice that you have an immediate karmic reward for things that you want. So if you find yourself wanting and thinking just casually and not like the fucking vision board, not like the frickin' candle lighting, we're so much more than that. Okay. So just casually sending a little message to the universe. You might not even know that you're doing it. You're like, geez, I could really use a cheese grater right now. And then boom, suddenly someone just freaking hands you a cheese grater out of nowhere. That's what I'm talking about. You might notice that a little bit. Okay. But notice it. Okay. Don't take anything for granted. Okay. Also, okay, that's it. Oh, y'all are getting me in trouble, Gemini. Okay, is that it? Is that it for real? Okay, y'all are getting me in trouble. All right, so we have the Seven of Pentacles. What did I tell you? What did I tell you about work, about continuation of this hustle? You got the Wheel of Fortune underneath, though. It is the right time for this. Ah, yes. Works through the heartbreak to your 10 of Cups, your 9 of Cups. Yeah, I do feel like you're getting some healing. I do feel like the metabolism of your challenges, the metabolism of your heartbreak, your insecurities, your previous woeful sort of existence. There's been times when it has been, you've been on the struggle bus, Gemini, right? There's been times. And I feel like you are metabolizing that now. You're deeply through it. You've come out on the other side of it, and you are metabolizing previous heartbreak into something incredible. Like when we're in it, when we've been betrayed, when we've been heartbroken, when we've seen loss so profound that we don't know if we want to go on anymore, and we're able to live through that, get into it, and then come through it. It's fucking amazing how we find ourselves again. And the truer we are to ourselves, and the deeper we let ourselves feel this Three of Swords, the more potential we have to come right into our true purpose. And that's where the risk comes of our oracle. Yes, it is risky to fully feel those feelings. And some of us might realize, especially in May, that there are still lingering shreds, shadows, pieces of us that are still triggered by certain people, events, memories, smells. And when those feelings come up and we're reminded of something that happened, someone who left us, someone who passed, an event that happened to us, and we feel that, and whatever your tell is, Gemini, we have a tell, right? So whether your body gets hot, whether your heart starts racing, whatever physical manifestations you have in your body when you're reminded of things, you need to pay very close attention. You need to recognize that and respect it for what it is. It's trying to tell you something. And if it's, if it's just a little thing and you're like, why am I breaking out into a cold sweat? All I thought about was the way that, my dad used to do, used to play cards or whatever, right? Sit with it for a minute if you can. I understand sometimes these things happen while we're at work, or God damn it, while we're in the middle of a conversation with someone. And that's hard to pull away from and sit for a minute. But if you can sit for a minute and really experience that, and why that little shred still affects you so powerfully, especially if it manifests in a physical reaction. That's your homework for May. Because if you're able to really come through on the other side, and we're all going to get triggered throughout our entire lives in one way or the other, but it'll get softer. It'll get a lot softer, rather than breaking out into a cold sweat, rather than your heart racing. It'll just come through a little bit. And you're like, oh, yeah. It'll be more intellectual than manifesting in your body. And that's where the risk is, because I think you can still work through that a little bit. There's still some vestiges of these moments, but it's setting you up to be in your right place. It's worth it to go through this experience, because on the other side, we've got to anyway. What else do you want to do with that? Right? What else would you like to do with those triggers? You want to work through them. So on the other side of that, what it's bringing you about to is a greater sense of yourself And that will help you get on the path that brings you to your greatest self, to your greatest purpose, to your greatest path, and to your greatest rewards, to your manifestation. Okay. Dr. Rose out. Let's look at self-interest. Self-interest, Gemini. And these are totally different energies. I'm not going to pull anything that bridges, because this is about 1 to 5% of your day right there. Okay, so let's look more at self-interest, because that's a greater part of your day. This is a funny thing is, let me just tell you something about energy and about our wonderful human existence. This 5% of your day is as equally important as the 95% of your day that you're hustling towards, in terms of getting you on the path that you need to get onto in a spiritual way. Okay. Self-interest. Gemini, are you carrying the mouse to your family, or are you going to eat it all yourself? I don't know. Crows. I met a crow over the last weekend. He was very loud. Very, very loud crow, but beautiful. He didn't bring me anything. That was rude. Like, do you know my relationship with crows? Like, come on, bro. Bring me a treat. I didn't give him anything, to be fair, so it was not reciprocal, I guess, with that particular individual crow. Listen, I'm trying to lighten up the energy, okay? I can't think of any jokes, but I'm trying. Oh gosh. Oh. Okay. All right, here we go. The King of Pentacles. Ooh. Hold on. All right. Yeah. The Five of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. Gosh, the thing is, God damn it, Gemini. Okay. All right. Gemini. Listen, you're already King of Pentacles. Okay. That's how the universe sees you. That's how other people see you. Remember how I go back and watch Taurus. Okay. Could you watch Taurus for me? Because it's very similar interests. Like, you're valuing yourself. I'm giving you a little bit of a lecture right now, because you're valuing yourself as a knight up in your head, self-sabotaging yourself as a knight. Do you know what you actually are? You're the King of Pentacles. This is you. You are treating yourself, and by that self-sabotaging, as a knight. You're better than that. And I'm not saying you're doing anything detrimental, okay? I'm not saying that you're intentionally, I'm not saying you're stealing from the office. I'm not saying that you're picking fights with people in your family on purpose. I'm saying that your value, your intrinsic value of your worth is far lower, not far, but far lower than how other people see you. If you ever thought, hey, I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60, whatever your age is, and then you look at the position that you're in life and think, God damn, I'm super smart, I'm really educated, and I have great communication skills. Why am I not actually a CEO? Why am I actually not, in charge of this whole thing? Because you are not fully stepping into your value. You're absolutely capable, because you're already, other people see you and the universe values you as the King of Pentacles. It is in your own self-interest to release any limiting beliefs that you might have. Now, this could be really hard. I'm not going to candy coat it, especially if you were raised and your sort of core programming from childhood, especially if you were raised poor, especially if you were raised minority. You might, you are a minority, let's say, and you've been marginalized, and you get used to being marginalized and you self-marginalize. That's what this is about. So it might be very, very deep. This might be something you want to see a professional about. You can handle this. You can handle this on your own. You're strong and you have that internal barometer, and you can transfer. But this, if you are able to talk to a professional and say, listen, I think I have some self-limiting beliefs that come from being in a marginalized group, and I know I can do better, and I have all these skills. Why am I not CEO? If you find the right professional, it could just be a coach. It doesn't have to be a shrink. It could just be a coach. If you're able to talk to them and able to get on a trusting place, get in a trusting place with them, you could change this. You could also change this yourself, but I think professional might be a catalyst. It also you could be a friend. If you have a friend that you trust, especially if they are in a higher position than yourself, if you have friends who are executives and you trust them, talk to them about it. Say, hey, really lay it out there. Really express your vulnerabilities. This does actually bridge over because we're talking about risk. So if you have the chutzpah to risk vulnerability and tell a professional mentor, friend, get a mentor and say, listen, I feel like I could do this. I could do this so well. But for some reason, I think I have limiting beliefs coming from my past, coming from the way I was raised, coming from how I thought society thought of me. And so I treated myself like that. Okay. It's heavy, dude. It's way heavier than Geminis want to deal with. I get it. I'm there with you. I don't want to deal with that either. But do you want the reward? I mean, if you don't, fine. If you want to limit yourself and be a knight for the rest of your life and earn, enough money, cool. That's fine. That's absolutely your prerogative, and that's free will. But I don't think the universe has that plan for you, because there's a double, reward to this. Not only if you work through this and you move more towards your own self-interest rather than saving the world, maybe you move 10% of your saving the world energy into your own self-interest, and you move more into the King of Pentacles and stop limiting yourself so much, that is going to help you save the world. It's going to help you grow, and it's going to increase your bank. Okay? Just maybe think about that. So I get it, but just think about that. Okay, that's your reading. It's actually a really, really, really fantastic reading for me. Is it going to be work? Yes. Is it going to create future abundance? Yeah, it is. Is it continuing the setup? Yeah, because you're still healing and you're still self-actualizing. You're still releasing limiting beliefs. So yeah, anyway, blah, blah, blah. Come on, Gemini, you got better things to do. Get off the video and go do something. Okay? All right. Remember that no reading comes from a vacuum, and all readings are influenced by the reader as well as the time in which they're pulled. So go look at my disclosures. Bye, guys.